Being black and poor in America isn't just hard, it's psychological warfare. Not metaphorical, physiological. Chronic stress changes bodies and brains. That's the weathering effect. Years of racism plus scarcity elevate stress load, allostatic load, aging cells faster, and pushing systems toward burnout. Translation: your body has been doing tactical survival, not failing at life. Grind harder is sold as salvation, but if your baseline is hypervigilance, sirens, bills, unsafe housing, bias, you're already marinating in cortisol and adrenaline. More push, more progress. Often it's more breakdown. Weathering data shows higher stress markers across ages for Black adults, independent of income. Hustle culture demands output. Biology is begging for margin. You're shamed for resting while your nervous system is running on fumes. Rest downshifts stress chemistry and repairs attention networks. In a country where cost blocks care, rest becomes the accessible intervention. Lower-income adults are far more likely to skip mental health care due to cost. Out-of-pocket burden concentrates beneath the poverty line. Rest isn't lazy, it's harm reduction. Black students and kids with disabilities get punished more for the same behaviors, starting in preschool. That's not a temperament issue, it's a policy plus bias issue. Adultification bias labels Black girls less innocent, feeding harsher discipline. Survival stress is pathologized as defiance, then punished. Poverty is misdiagnoses, empty fridges, moldy rooms, and waiting rooms that don't call your name. Food insecurity hit 13.5% of households in 2023, with Black communities over twice the rate of white households, at 22% versus ISAR 10%. Hunger scrambles cognition, mood, and immunity. Then people get blamed for attitude. Evictions are not just paperwork, they're nervous system earthquakes. Black renters are 20% of renters but endure over half of eviction filings. Black and Latinx women are at highest risk. Constant threat of displacement keeps bodies in red alert, blocking executive function and healing. Care isn't neutral. Black patients' pain is undertreated, partly due to false biological beliefs still held by trainees. That's how "come back if it gets worse" becomes a cliff. If you learn to mask pain to be believed, that wasn't personality. That was survival intelligence. Black children are diagnosed later and less often with autism, ADHD, losing years of support. Large studies show substantial underdiagnosis and delayed diagnosis, especially for Black kids in Medicaid cohorts. What gets labeled attitude is often sensory overload, executive dysfunction, or trauma physiology. Black maternal mortality remains 3.5 times white rates. 2023 CDC data show 50.3 deaths per 100,000 for Black women versus 14.5 for white, an unconscionable gap in a rich nation. This is systems, not individual choices. Weathering plus bias plus access. Poverty rates are falling on paper for some groups, but the lived gap persists. Wealth, housing stability, childcare, and groceries remain structurally uneven. Recent census KFF trackers show race-stratified poverty and child poverty patterns that keep families one bill away from crisis. You're not bad at budgeting, you're outnumbered by math. Higher income folks can buy time, therapy, and regulated environments. Lower income adults skip care due to cost. Medical debt itself worsens anxiety, depression, and delays treatment. When you can't buy buffer, minor dysregulation gets policed, not treated. Your stress system isn't disobedient, it's calibrated. Chronic threat sensitizes the amygdala, quicker alarms, tightens muscles, narrows attention, and hijacks working memory. Weathering equals long-term load on cardiovascular, metabolic, and immune systems, translating racism plus scarcity into biology. The fix isn't willpower, it's conditions. If the system won't turn down the siren, we use pocket tools. 30-60 sec paced exhale, lengthen exhale. Gaze softening plus peripheral vision scan, vagal break. Name it to tame it, label the state, I'm flooded, amped, foggy. Texture, temperature anchor, cold water, fabric seam. These reduce arousal without money or time you don't have. Science, affect labeling, autonomic regulation. Food insecurity is real. Aim for stable over ideal. Add any protein, fat with carbs to blunt glucose spikes. Less crash, ETOs, fewer spirals. Sleep in shards. Protect the first 90 minutes if you can. Use light in the morning, dimness at night to cue circadian systems. This is harm reduction for cognition under stress. Under eviction threat, scripts plus documentation matter. Keep an eviction folder. Dates, notices, payment logs. No local legal aid and moratorium updates. Data show Black women face disproportionate filings, so pre-collect proof and allies. If you can, negotiate in writing. Paper trails protect. Because pain is undertreated and bias is real. Bring a symptom log plus specific ask. Trial X, pain plan for nights. Use teach back. Can I repeat what I heard? Ask for note in chart. Patient concerned about undertreatment of pain. If dismissed, request another clinician or patient advocate. Receipts shift outcomes. If a child is acting out, request evals in writing, ADHD, ASD, IEP 504. Remind schools of federal data on discipline disparities and the overpunishment of students with disabilities. Ask for sensory supports before suspension. Document everything. Survival behavior is a clue, not a crime. Executive dysfunction in scarcity isn't laziness, it's bandwidth depletion. When every dollar in decision carries a threat, the brain protects energy. Use reduced steps rules, one-touch dishes, 2-minute tidy, set auto refills if possible, cue-based routines over motivation. Your brain isn't broken, it's conserving. Mutual aid, church aunties, group chats, neighbors, collective regulation beats solo willpower. Share ride lists, babysitting swaps, grocery pools. Community reduces threat signals. Biology reads all day. Access to care is still a fight, but together you borrow nervous systems until the system changes. Policy, parity rules are evolving, but gaps remain. Reuters. If all you did today was breathe, that's not doing nothing. That's keeping a lineage alive under conditions designed to grind you down. In data speak, you're countering allostatic load. In plain speak, you're brilliant and still here. Trauma responses, freeze, fawn, fight, flight, are bodyguard modes. They look like attitude to people who never had to survive like you. Translate the behavior. My volume is high because my alarms are high. Then choose a tool, breath, label, or leave. Your body is the narrator, not the enemy. Policy shifts can move access, but the meantime hurts. Just under half of U.S. adults report that health costs are hard to afford. Lower income folks skip needed care the most. Your spreadsheet is not a character test. Build relief-first budgets, food, shelter, meds, minimums, everything. It's grief with no time to grieve. Lost hours, lost housing, lost births, lost breath. Weathering means your body holds the eulogies you weren't given space to say. Micro rituals count. 60-second name the loss, candle at sink, tiny memorial note on your phone, grief metabolized, energy returned. If you're Black and neurodivergent, assume under recognition and build a proof pack. Sensory triggers, executive function barriers, time-stamped examples. Ask for low-cost supports first. Noise reduction, timers, written instructions. Pursue evils, but don't wait for permission to use tools. Protect mornings. Light exposure, protein bite, 1 micro win. Batch energy. Pay bills plus calls in 1 admin hour on best energy day. Crisis kit, meds list, cash stash, charger, ID pics, landlord, clinic contacts. Joy dose, 90 seconds of music/movement, stillness, daily. This is science, not fluff. It should not take heroism to get baseline care. Maternal safety, eviction prevention, school equity, and true mental health parity are not luxuries. Every statistic we named is an invoice to the system, not a verdict on your worth. Keep the receipts. Demand returns. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are carrying systems that were never designed to carry you. The fact you're still imagining a future means neuroplasticity is working right now. Attention follows meaning, and you still have meaning. Minute 1, lengthen exhale. Minute 2, name your state plus one need. Minute 3, do the smallest helpful action. Sip water, open window, text, I'm alive. If that's all you did today, you still moved your biology towards safety. So if all you did today was breathe, that's resistance. That's evidence of your brilliance. Hold your boundary. I am not a problem to fix. I am a person in a rigged maze building exits with other people.